Week 3 of our Secunda Super League Challenge Cup coverage here on 4 Later. And so far it's been a mixture of skill and aggression on the ice. We're still charting the progress of the qualification process for those 4 Challenge Cup semi-final places, and tonight's match takes us to South Wales to catch up with the Cardiff Devils, winners of the first ever Super League in 1997.
Here's Kevin Real. Oh, lovely move, Real. He's through on net.
The action is fast and furious. UK ice hockey in the roar. Not to be missed. Hello, welcome to UK Ice Hockey here on 4 Later. In the last couple of weeks we've been up at the London Arena and we've also been up at Sheffield. Now there we've seen very big ice rinks. Here it's not the case. We're at the Cardiff Arena. Now the Cardiff Devils have been one of the more successful sides in British ice hockey. They won the inaugural Super League here. Cardiff, as everybody knows, is a rugby union town, but the ice hockey team has also made a real impact here. When the Devils first won that Super League title back in 1997, the team were paraded through the town in an open-top bus, and they remain firm favourites in South Wales with one of the strongest followings in the British game. Now, we're not trying to dwell on the rougher aspects of the sport, but Secunda Super League Ice Hockey does have something of a reputation as one of the more physical leagues in Europe. And in many ways, the statue of the Welsh boxing legend, peerless Jim Driscoll outside the Cardiff Arena could be taken as an ominous sign. Except that here in Cardiff, the links between the Devils and the boxing world go even deeper. Because the ice hockey team's new recruit in the marketing department is a man who once stood toe-to-toe with the likes of Nigel Benn. Now we're here with the press and marketing manager of the Cardiff Devils, Nicky Piper. Nicky, now ice hockey isn't the sport you're most famous for.
No, as you can see from the gym here, boxing is my sport, and I've been boxing since the age of 7. I do a lot of the commentary now for the rival station to you, so I won't mention them. But the marketing job I'm really enjoying with the Cardiff Devils, and it's something different for me. I've been doing it about a year now, and I very much enjoy it.
Now, you're starting a new initiative, which is like training not in the usual ways, but in the boxing ring. Why is this?
Well, because I think it's a different form of fitness for them. When I was boxing, I always wanted to do something different and something exciting. And for the ice hockey players, this is different and exciting. It's great fitness from the waist up. These guys have got such strong legs through the skating. But this will balance them up totally. It's great upper body fitness and strength. And of course, they're going to fight. Let's learn to fight properly.
Yeah, because fighting is virtually institutionalised in the sport, isn't it? I mean, if there isn't a good fight in a game, people go home a bit disappointed.
Yeah, exactly. And the kids from the 3, 4, 5, they love the fighting as much as the old grannies watching it. And it's a total family sport, and everybody is not frightened by the fighting. I don't know why, but it's done in such good taste. They're left to get on with it, and nobody's frightened of it. But it is a big part of the game.
Left, right. Right hand, left hook.
Can I interrupt there, folks? Clint, you're looking a bit tasty there on the old on the old thing. Is this going to be very useful for you?
I think conditioning-wise, it's an excellent thing to do. You know, instead of going to the gym every day lifting weights, getting on the bike, it's a great change, something different, and it's a great workout.
But you know, it's obviously a very violent sport, is ice hockey. Is this going to be used on the ice, the actual punching technique?
Fighting is a part of hockey. The old question of do you want your children to go to a game where there's legalized violence? But I think an honest fight between two men is a lot better than somebody clubbing over the head with a stick. You know, I've been cut more times with sticks than I have with punches. As we've already seen in our coverage, once 2 men get involved, both teams tend to follow suit. But what looks like chaos normally has a purpose. Now, you're obviously captain of the Devils. What sort of a role does a captain play?
Basically, just acts as a link between coach and management and players. And on our team is so experienced, there isn't much of a other role to play other than try to show up for all the games and be a motivator in some way and just play the game hard.
Hard, but not always fair. Injuries just go with the job.
I have had a couple serious knee injuries. I had a couple knee reconstructions a few years back. I also had my nose ripped off once. Just a little bit of a nose job on myself.
How did that happen?
I just got eye stuck in the face and a piece of my nose came off and got sewn back on. I think it looks better, doesn't it?
Looks great. Now there is a serious part to the boxing knowledge that Nicky Piper brings to the Devils. With the proper guidance, he can help the players avoid injury.
There are instances, of course, when they hit helmets, and that can't be helped, but mostly it's through punching incorrectly, maybe not closing the hand or not hitting with the proper part of the fist, and then injuries do happen.
I mean, were you astonished when you got involved in the game to see so much going on?
I was, and I was amazed that nobody jumps in. I mean, you get two guys fighting, they're left at it for 2 minutes. None of the teammates try and stop it, the referees don't get involved, and then when it's all over, all they get is 2 minutes in the sin bin. Now, if that was rugby, they'd be banned for 6 months. But in ice hockey, it's totally acceptable, and it's a part of the game. It's what makes the game attractive. So I suppose they better learn to punch properly and not hurt themselves, and that's what it's all about.
A lot of it's reputation. I mean, you have 1 or 2 good fights and the reputation's there. And I mean, obviously you've got to keep going back sometimes. Somebody's going to call your bluff. But it's just, especially in hockey, it's reputation. You have 1 good fight and then you get a big safety zone around you. Guys won't come in and hit you, but there's always going to be new guys in the league. There's always bigger, better, tougher guys that are playing. That's a fact of life.
Oh, and what is the right technique for fighting? I mean, Nicky was talking about punching the correct way before early to us. What have you learned?
It's a combination of, I think, maybe judo, boxing, because you're holding on to a jersey. Balance, you're on your feet. When you're in a boxing ring, you're on 2 feet, you get in the ice. Difficult to plant your feet, but then at the same time, with Nicky helping us with the proper technique in the punch, you're not twisting all over and flying, losing your balance. You're keeping your center of gravity in the right spot, and you're getting in tight and doing it right.
No, you're one of the most feared men in the league. Do you fear anybody?
Fear everybody. If you don't fear anybody, when you get cocky, that's when you lose.
Now, as we said, it's quite a small rink here, so it's not conducive to open-flowing hockey, and that might not suit Newcastle's style. The Jesters have got a very strong Scandinavian lineup, and they've also got a Finnish coach, so they're into much more skillful hockey. The Cardiff style is all about spoiling. Look out for Vezio Secretini to spend the game trying to give the Jesters a sense of humour failure. And if the Newcastle game plan does break down, it will be Thornton who is called on to ratchet up the misery on the fence.
Steve Thornton doesn't just bring one thing to the Cardiff Devils. I think he brings a lot of things. He's our leading point getter right now, so obviously he's very good defensively, or very good offensively, but I don't think we can overlook the defensive contribution that he makes as well. He's an outstanding penalty killer. He can play defense pretty well, but he will also play aggressive if he has to. I know he finishes checks, he bumps it out, bumps and grinds it out, and Steve Thornton brings a lot of intangibles that a lot of people miss to the table as well.
For many observers in the Challenge Cup and the Secunda Super League, Cardiff have failed to live up to their pre-season billing as potential champions. It was a difficult start to the current campaign, with coach Troy Walkington only taking over the team full-time after the Devils director of hockey, Doug McCarthy, failed to acquire the necessary work permit and return to North America. But now they're getting back on track, and the compact Cardiff Arena is once again an intimidating place to visit.
I think it's a home field advantage for us. At the beginning of the year or during the off season, we wanted to recruit a team that was big and strong and could play physical because we didn't have a big rink, and I think we've done just that. We've got a lot of big guys, and that's the way we want to play. Newcastle's a pretty skilled team. They've got quite a few Finnish players, European players. They've got quite a few Canadians. So depending which line is out there is what's going to happen. I think their Canadian players play very physical. They get the puck deep. They cycle the puck pretty well. They like going to the net. Their Finnish guys are excellent skaters. They come at you with a lot of speed, and obviously their puck movement's very good. So depending on which line's out there is how we're going to have to play it.
And Troy's recipe for beating the Jesters? It's not too complex.
We want to play physical, we want to play aggressive, we want to wear them down, and the bottom line is we want 3 points.
The build-up is over, so here's the Cardiff lineup. Clayton Norris, who we saw working out in the boxing ring, is on the right-hand side of the defence. And this is the full team. Alice Sheamer playing alongside club captain Ivan Matulik, that man Sacratini alongside Steve Thornton in the next line. It should be worth watching when they're on the ice. Here's Seth and Colin.
Welcome then to the Academy in Cardiff, one of the smallest rinks in the Super League, which demands different things from different sides. As we've already heard, Cardiff are really built to take advantage of that. The skill is going to come largely from players like Steve Thornton. Look for players like Ivan Matulik, Bezio Sacratini to get under the other team's skin, and then Mike Ware to provide some of the size, some of the hitting and some of the hard man reputation. New signing in the lineup as well, Aleš Zima, a 27-year-old, 6'3" Czech international, built in the Cardiff mould, we're told, hard-nosed and experienced, making his debut this evening, recommended by a friend of coach Troy Walkington from the Czech Republic. That's what the Newcastle Jesters have to deal with it this evening. Seth Bennett's been looking at how they might do it.
And the Newcastle Jesters have two different sides to their team. They have the North American style that they can play with the likes of Daniel Acquire. He's a big, tough centreman. He's willing to throw his stick out there and make sure players know that he's around. Also, Joel Poirier, the captain of the Newcastle Jesters, he leads by example every single shift that he's out there. Another one to look out for is the number 24, Tero Arkioma. He's got a lot of skill and a huge shot when he decides to use it, and he can let that one go from anywhere on the rink. Just one chance to have a look at the defence as well, and that's in big Rob Wilson. He's so steady on the puck. He offers such a calmness and a lot of leadership, as well as a very hard shot from the blue line.
Referee Dave Cloutman then raises his arm, gets ready to drop the puck. I don't know what sort of night he's anticipating. Could be a tough one here. Lots of players tend to head into the boards at this narrow rink here at the Academy in Cardiff. You'll notice the differences immediately between this and the big arenas we've seen so far here on UK Ice Hockey this season. Early action for netminder Derek Herlowski, in for the young British number 1 Stevie Lyle, and that brings up an early offside call as the puck is driven out of the zone and Newcastle look to get the jump on just a little too early.
It's going to be a big coaching battle this evening. It's the discipline and the thinking, really, of Jukka Jalonen. He's going to be matched up against Troy Walkington, who likes to play an in-your-face bump and grind style.
Well, that's the stereotype. We'll see if the two teams live up for it. Newcastle looking to push forward. Well picked off, though, by the Devils and comfortably dealt with by Dwight Parrish, who drives an early shot in, swiftly turned away by Sartasari. Battle on the boards. We'll see a lot of that this evening. Wilson's in there and crashes it forward, but Devils have kept the pressure on here. Newcastle pick up the puck low and should clear this comfortably up into neutral ice. Picked up swiftly. Devils try and get things going again. A little bit of pushing and shoving off the play. Anish Chassé won't like that. Oh, he's had a go at Sartasari, presumably because of his displeasure at the earlier check.
Not too impressed, and Sartasari lying there on the ice. Perhaps he's trying to draw the early penalty, try and give Newcastle an early advantage in this one to see if they can get the lead. As we get a bit of afters here right in front of the benches.
But Anish Chassé was definitely in his face, wasn't he? He was definitely having a go, trying to set a bit of a tone, maybe.
And maybe he's just saying, you're in our house now, don't come and play too hard. Here he goes, just gives him a little crack, a little kisser right on the left side of his helmet.
Well, let's hear what the referees have to say about it all.
That causes problems, okay? Let's get out there, we both play hockey, both play it, let's get out and have a good hockey match tonight. Leave that shit somewhere else, guys.
Referee Dave Cloutman wanting the violence left off the ice. 2 minutes in the bin for Anish Chassé, misconduct.
Anish Chassé is a player that played in the NHL with the St. Louis Blues. He's come over here and he's a player that every coach in the league would want on his team. In fact, last year he even won the championship with the Bracknell Bees. He does everything well, including drop the gloves and get in people's faces.
Chassé making an early trip to the sin bin. Back to the action now, still no score.
13:40 left then. 5-on-5 a wee skate. Cardiff Devils going from right to left, looking to get things moving early on. The chase is on for Ivan Matulik, bustling player, trying to get in there in the corner. Jesters are smart though and can clear this comfortably into neutral ice. Now they can try and get it going themselves. Over there is Clark. Clark putting it in on net, throwing it forward. Herlowski's alert to that though. Newcastle will try and pile the pressure on in that corner. Devils are up to it and more than capable of dealing with that.
There's Alex Zima. You just see him getting hit really, really hard. That's such an introduction for him into British hockey. He's got a lot of things about him, talked about him before the game. He's got a lot of skill, but also he's meant to be a hard-nosed forward, and I think this will be a great introduction to find out exactly what he can take.
He'll be used to a bit more protection in the Czech Elite League, you have to say that. The referee's there a lot less lenient on that kind of play as Binns touches up for the icing.
I think we're going to get a chance to see a replay here of that hit by Mosner. There's Zima, head down, he gets hit, bang, straight into the boards. Went down, he was lucky, he just managed to turn his body and make sure that he didn't go face first into the boards.
So Alex Zima given the traditional welcome to Challenge Cup hockey, but no real harm done. After a brief spell on the bench, he was back on the ice for the face-off.
Jukka Jalonen, a thinking coach. He likes to outthink the opposition. He's done it in the past in some pretty big games as well, notably a playoff semi-final against Sheffield last season. He needs to outthink Cardiff on their own rink here. Still 0-0 as we skate away to the Cardiff end. A lengthy clearance there by Alan Schuler, gets it up into neutral ice. Newcastle smart to pick it up. They were looking for the quick release there to get Louis Bedard away. He picks it up now and feeds it out towards that left-hand side, looking for the return pass. Cardiff are there. That's Zima getting nailed, but it sent Matulik away. Matulik on the break. Matulik fires and fires home for the Cardiff Devils. The opening goal of the game goes to Ivan Matulik. Maybe that'll open things up in this one. It's Devils 1, Jesters 0.
Here as we see Matulik come through, the puck's bobbling all over the place. He looks at once, then snaps it straight through the 5-hole. But what made the play is the pass here from Alex Zima. Feeds it to Matulik. Matulik with a little move all the way around the defenseman, then in he goes. Got tons of speed. There he goes in again, makes the move, and then bingo, it's there.
Ivan Matulik then scoring the first goal for Cardiff, but with more than a little help from new man Zima. We rejoin the action just over the halfway mark in the first period.
So Newcastle then, trying to pile things on, trying to get back into this game and silence the Devils fans if they possibly can. Puck is dropped in the Devils zone. Newcastle trying to get it behind and trying to cycle the puck out of that corner. It's a difficult job to do when the Devils are in your face on their own rink, but the Jesters doing a fine job of it just at the moment, managing to keep the puck, keep it in the zone. That's all important at this game at times. Now they've got to try and work it and get it out in front for the shot. They're not going to be able to do it there. The Devils have cleared the zone, but some good signs from the Jesters, Seth Bennett.
Yeah, really coming back into it is we're going to just see them battle for the puck again, and that's what's really important, and it's something that's really been instilled in them by the coach, Jukka Jalonen, is that they have to work hard every single shift, and it doesn't matter what style they're going to play, they can't give up on any of the pucks.
The Devils there under pressure, so they've cleared their own zone, they've given up the icing. That means the puck will come all the way to the other end and keep the pressure on Troy Walkington's men as he looks to make a line change.
Alex Zima coming off on this line change, and I think what's been really impressive to me is how he's handled the physical play, and with him getting the assist on the Cardiff goal, he's shown just how important he can be, and with the skill that he's got, he should really be an impact player for this team.
Well, Moria, one of the old men of the Cardiff Devils team, has picked this up here and will carry it into neutral ice, stripped away from him though, and the Jesters will come away again. This is a grand opportunity for them as they drive it in. It's gone through the goaltender. That's Clark. That has come from absolutely nowhere to put the Jesters right back in this one. Herlowski letting the soft shot through.
I'll tell you what, Clark, as he fires off the back foot, really soft goal for Herlowski to give up, but he's quieting down the crowd, and this is a real chance now for the Jesters to get back into this one. With it being tied up at 1, they've got to try and push forward, and they've got to continue as they have done so far.
After that equalising goal, the bad blood between Cardiff and Newcastle was beginning to spill over. Vecchio Sacratini, the Cardiff forward, involved in this brawl with Newcastle's Santeri Immonen. 2 minutes in the sin bin for Sacratini and Immonen. We rejoin the match with just 41 seconds remaining in the first period.
Moria, so much experience at face-offs. He's won that one, gets it back to Norris. Norris winds up, drives it in, forces the sprawling save from Sartasari, and the Devils will pile the pressure on now. They've got men waiting in front. Evans is going to go in there after it. He's going to pop out in front now. They're all trying to get on the end of this one, but now Norris is forced to backpedal to try and field the puck.
And that was a great play by Rob Wilson to try and clear the zone then. He just managed to kick the puck forward before he was able to clear it and really relieve the pressure on Sartasari's net.
The Devils skating around this small rink of theirs, trying to make something happen on that blue line. The Jesters, though, able to stone them. Immonen to drive it in towards the far corner. And Newcastle will try and make the most of these final 10 seconds of the period. Poirier, the big captain, trying to get the puck out in front. He's going to get hold of it now. It's just got tangled up behind him and underneath him, and he can't get the shot off before the end of period. Hooter goes.
Troy Walkington not looking too impressed with that period. And really, I think he expected a little bit more out of his players.
And there's Matulik, goal scorer and captain of the Cardiff Devils. Actually, he's playing a captain's role now. I think he's going to step back out on the ice. He's going to want a few words with referee Cloutman about some of the stuff that was going on behind the play, I think. Let's eavesdrop.
Off the puck interference. Yeah, don't worry, I will do. Not a problem. You heard that? Off the puck interference.
So there we are. That's Ivan Matulik having his say as far as what he wants referee Cloutman to do. Now it's the consultation with the coach.
Well, I just told him they got to watch fucking off-puck interference.
And that's the story of the period, really, as far as Ivan Matulik's concerned. 1 goal for him, 1 goal for the Jesters, that coming from David Clark.
So, some refereeing problems there by the Devils, and down in the locker room, Seth Bennett caught up with Troy Walkington, the Cardiff coach.
Well, I don't think that we can be happy with the period that we just played. I don't think that we really accomplished anything that we wanted to accomplish. We didn't establish low position very well. We didn't finish a whole lot of checks, and I don't think that we were really a physical presence out there.
You must have been very impressed with Zima's first period of British hockey.
Well, other than the fact that I feel that he's getting raped and abused out on the ice right now, yeah, I think that, you know, every time he touches the puck or goes into a face-off, he seems to get mugged or tripped or hooked or his head taken off or anything like that. So other than that, I think I was pretty happy.
Do you feel that the referee then has to call a little more for you to be happy and for this game to go off without too many problems?
No, I just think that that's his decision. You know, if that's the way that he wants the game to progress, then we have no problem lifting our game to that level. So if he's not calling it on them, then, you know, we'll have to regroup in between periods, and we should probably expect a little bit different second and third period. I just think that we need to finish checks. I think we need to be a lot more aggressive. I think we have to go to the net, and, you know, we have to make good decisions coming through the neutral zone.
Harsh words from coach Troy Walkington saying that Cardiff are going to get a lot more physical in the second period. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. Now, at the end of the first 20 minutes, we heard Cardiff coach Troy Walkington promising a more physical second period. But he also said this.
Were you disappointed with the Dave Clark goal?
Yeah, I don't think that was a very good goal on our team. I think we had a bad turnover in the neutral zone, and the puck got poked through. And as far as the shot, I don't think that, and I think that Hurley will probably agree that it wasn't probably the best shot to beat him.
Goaltending is a completely crazy business. You're stood in the net with a piece of rubber hurling towards you at 100 miles an hour. What would you do? The man usually occupying the patch of ice in front of the Cardiff goal is Steve Lyle, the Devils' Great Britain international and the only British-born netminder in the Secunda Super League. Lyle was rested for this match after 6 straight games for the Devils. Having been with his local side right the way through from the junior ranks, he's acknowledged as one of the very best in European hockey. Steve, you're a bit unique. There aren't many British players in the league at all. How did you get started?
Yeah, it's kind of weird because I always wanted to be a football player. I think at the age of 7, it was the Devils' first year, and they announced there was going to be a junior team. So, there I was. I come in goals, and ever since then, I've just, been lucky enough to turn professional at the age of 14, and I've enjoyed, every day of it so far.
What makes a good netminder?
You got to be confident. Obviously, you got to be a bit crazy as well because the puck goes at 90 miles per hour. So you got to stand there and take it. But like you said, a lot of people think it hurts you, but we got all this padding on, and so there's only maybe once a week you get kind of hit. This is my blocker. This is for just directing pucks into the corner. On the other side, my left-hand side, this is my catcher. This is Hopefully I can control the play a lot more because I can catch the puck with this and hold it onto my body. These are my leg pads. These are pretty expensive, but they're just full of foam, and they look really heavy, but they're pretty light. These are my shorts. These are all padded, as you can feel. And then my body armor, this is all foam as well, just with bits of plastic in the middle. That's my helmet. That's made of Kevlar. So this is a lot different to a player's helmet, because obviously we need to be more protected. So we got the face cage, and that's, you know, it's really padded inside as well.
There's an extraordinary amount of gear on there. I mean, does it weigh a lot?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, right now it most probably weighs an extra stone. And, you know, when it gets wet after the game as well, through all the sweat, you know, throughout the game, you know, you're looking at like a stone and a half. So it takes a lot out of your body.
It's very, very dangerous. I mean, you're getting pucks flying at you at about 100 miles an hour. Does it make you superstitious, that?
You can be, yeah. I mean, like before the game, I put my gear on. I put my right side on first, and then, you know, follow with the left. And before the game, I always have the same pre-game meal, same nap. And yeah, I mean, like some, you know, goaltenders, they don't even talk. I mean, a guy called Trevor Robbins for London Knights, he don't even speak to none of the guys the day of a game. They just, you know, he wants to be left alone kind of thing. But I'm not like that yet. So I'm still a bit sane, you know.
Back to the action now. Cardiff Devils, Newcastle Jesters tied at 1 apiece. Here's Seth and Colin.
So then, into the second period, Troy Walkington, Seth, certainly been as good as his word. The physicality and the intensity stepped up from Cardiff.
I think so, yeah. Cardiff have to do that, though, if they expect to be successful here. But to be fairly honest, I was a bit worried about Troy when I went down there.
He didn't look happy, did he? Clark is on the back of this, the goal scorer, and here's Ramaki with the opportunity. Stoned, and brilliantly done there by Herlovsky.
Herlovsky really cut down the angles well as Cardiff come back the other way.
Absolutely, they're going to try and drive this in from the point, but Evans just tries to walk it in towards the goal. Perhaps he got a little bit tangled up under his stick there, and he never quite got the shot off. Now it's put across in front. Newcastle should clear. Don't. They've got another opportunity. Great save there, and turned away by Sartasari.
And we've seen two good examples at either end of the ice from the goaltenders. You see Derek Herlovsky uses the angles well to get in the way of the puck. And then we see Sartasari flopping around like a fish there on the ice, and he's using whatever he can to stop the puck.
And he stoned John Parker, who's on an astonishing scoring run. He scored in each of his last 6 games, so he's not a man to be denied easily. Puck comes across, Sacratini trying to force it home, and not able to do so. Jesters get it back into the corner, but Devils manage to cycle it again.
This is one of the problems of playing on the small rink.
Here's Evans swinging the shot in, bounces off Sartasari, and across the face of goal, and now surely Newcastle can clear it. They do.
Well, the whistle's gone on the delayed penalty call, and I think it's that man, Sacratini, that's going to go to the box. I think he was caught in a little bit of a slashing match behind the play there. But Sacratini, he may be one of the smaller players on the ice for the Devils, but he's so good at getting in the face of opposition players, really winding them up, and he's a constant talker. The whole time that he's out there, he keeps going, and he really winds people up. That's his job. That's what he does best.
We return to the action with seconds left on the penalty for Sacratini.
Well, Newcastle not able to capitalise on this power play so far, and given that they've got the second worst record with a man advantage in the league, we shouldn't be surprised. They only managed to score just over 1 in 10 times when they got the extra man. They're trying to get it cycled around the back now and trying to get it out in front towards those men on the blue line. But once again, they've given it up. It'll be a Cardiff breakaway. They'll just try and kill some time.
I think that's something that's so surprising because Newcastle have got so many skilled players and so many players that are able to just put the puck in the net. It's amazing, really, that they're not able to just put the finish on the power play.
Circling the Devils, driving over towards that far side, as we saw maybe a bit of over-skating by the Jesters, which finally allowed the Devils to settle things down, put it behind the goal, and the penalty counting down, so another one is going to go begging for the Newcastle Jesters. Out of the box comes Spezio Sacratini, and one wonders what he's going to do next. He's the feisty in-your-face player. He'll be the one who will take and coach Troy Walkington's words to heart. And he's awaiting in a forward position at the moment. Here's Matulik pushing things forward neatly. Matulik's going to take the shot here. I think he does. Sartasari turns it away, and then Matulik has a go and misses.
See in the background, there's Sacratini getting right in Lacroix's face. I tell you what, I wouldn't like to go and play there because Lacroix's a tough man, as everyone's getting involved now. This could all just be handbags, as Norris is getting involved as well.
Well, the linesmen are in there. They're going to try and break things up before anything gets too heated. I'm sure we're going to see penalties for what happened behind the play.
Just 21 seconds then for Sacratini out on the ice, and he had the gilt-edge opportunity where he had really an empty net, even though he was at a tough angle to fire into, and then he gets himself involved with Lacroix. He's an impact player because every time he's out there on the ice, he makes something happen.
We saw the red armbands of referee Dave Cloutman there. That's his distinguishing feature. He's going to have to take some action here. Oh, that's a massive, massive hit from Lacroix, but Sacratini's right back at him. That's
something you've got to give him a lot of respect for. Lacroix's a very tough man.
Yes, and let's listen in on the referees, see what they've got to say.
10-minute unsportsmanlike. We can check it here as well. Right. 13. It's 2 for a charge.
Charge, yeah?
Yep. Sit down. Sit. Sacratini.
I think here we're seeing Dave Cloutman really just draw a line in the sand and just making sure this game doesn't go out of his control, as Sacratini is going to skate across and take his 2-minute roughing call, which I don't think he can argue over.
No, he can't argue over that, but where did the charging call on Salonen come from? And there's a 10-minute call on Daniel Lacroix. He's going to sit down for 10 minutes. He's not going to cost his team. In fact, I think on these penalties, the two teams are going to come out even.
Well, it's something that the Cardiff Devils coach, Troy Walkington, really isn't happy with. At the end of the first, he said he wasn't really happy with the referee. I wonder what he's going to say at the end of the second.
Yet another spell in the sin bin then for Sacratini, and on the bench, Troy Walkington still less than impressed with some of the officials' decision-making. We'll speak to him again in the next interval, but we get back to the action with just over a minute left on the second period clock.
So face-off then to be contested by Moria and Joel Poirier. Poirier perhaps gets the better of that one against the experienced man from Cardiff. Cardiff, though, tussling for it in the corner in what continues to be a scrappy game. Jesters will come away with it now. They've got some room to skate. They've got men waiting inside. Poirier takes the snapshot, though. It goes wide in the end and comes right around and indeed nearly out into neutral ice. Jesters do well to keep that in the zone there. There's a bit of tussling behind the play, and I think that's Fenton who's gone down. Cardiff are going to skate away with it nonetheless. Norris pushing it out towards Evans, left-hand side. Goes after the return now. Into the corners go Cardiff. They'll try and cycle it out of here now. Bit of tussling going on behind the play. Norris is in there. Big Mike Ware going after the puck as well. There's going to be all sorts of a wrestling match as Devils try and work this one out in front. They've got it out in front now. Push forward on the backhand. Jesters are there. They still can't get rid of it though. Pushed in front now. Just turned around.
Huge hit right in the corner there. And we're going to get a whistle as these two are going to stand off. It's Binns who's facing up against McIntyre. They're having a bit of a wrestling match. And Colin, it's two big boys getting rid of the toys here.
And indeed, it's McIntyre is getting the blows in early. Binns is just wrestling, trying to get his shirt over his head so he's immobilised so that Binns can throw the big punches. It's all a bit of a wrestling match at the moment. No doubt who's the smaller man. McIntyre just gets one off. It's a clumsy one. Binns swinging and missing. McIntyre rabbit punching him down to the ground. And I think we score that one to McIntyre.
Just split decision.
Binns is certainly getting up the slower of the two men, but I think they'll call that even a little bit of blowing of the breath, a little bit of a smile. Sometimes it pays to work out your frustrations on the rink by using your fist, and he certainly likes to do so from time to time.
Well, we've seen Binns head off the ice here, and I think that both he and McIntyre are really just frustrated with the period. It's been so bitty, so hacky, so choppy, and those two in the end just said, hey, let's just get shut of it and drop the gloves and go.
Troy Walkington wanted a more feisty period. He's got it. The crowd has got some entertainment at last. They badly needed it. Referee Dave Cloutman must be wondering what he's got himself into right now. Jesters behind their own net, just trying to pace things out. That'll go the length of the ice. Evans will chase it down and will touch up for the icing.
I think as this game goes on, Newcastle Jesters are going to be more and more confident, and the longer they keep it at one apiece, the more chance they have of winning this as it goes into this final period.
Certainly not an easy place to win the Academy. Ice House as was. You can get 3,000 fans in here. They can be pretty noisy. They've been rather taken out of things tonight. Wind taken out of their sails by the Newcastle Jesters equaliser. They'll still be more than hopeful their team can get back on top. Sacratini looking to do just that because they've got a face-off deep in Jesters territory.
Here's a matchup we've seen before, Sacratini and Lacroix, as Sacratini just gets tossed.
Thornton in for the face-off, and he wins it, and he gets it back. The Devils are going to try and create something. Final seconds of the period, putting pressure on Sartasari, all over the place, sprawling, and finally manages just about to turn it away as the buzzer goes.
Well, it was a quality save from Sartasari, but it ends really a scrappy period of hockey. Still tied at 1, though, and what that means is that the Cardiff Devils and the Newcastle Jesters are going to have to come out and make this one a real grandstand finish. So, Troy, any happier at the end of 2?
Well, obviously not very happy with the score. I've actually seen more tackling in an American football game, so I'm a little bit disappointed that what we feel that we discussed at league meetings and at coaches meetings really isn't being called by the officials right now.
Do you think that at least Cardiff have come back in with a lot of hitting, though?
Not as much as what we'd like. I think we have played a little bit more physical, but I definitely think that with the team that we have, we can play more physical, and I think we'd like to do that in the third period. I think that we need, I'm not going to say a little help from the officials, but I think we need perhaps the official to call a little bit more and give us an opportunity to open things up a bit.
Well, we were promised a much more physical second period, and we got it. Join us after the break for the third part of this game. Just as Troy promised us a much more physical second period. Back to Seth and Colin for the rest of the game.
So, still looking for that game-breaking goal. Devils trying to find it. That's Al Roos just pushing it backwards. They're just trying to set things up. Ghoster on the backhand. It's straight through the slot. Look at the referee's arm in the air. Delayed penalty. We'll be skating 6-on-5 just a moment. Here's Al Roos now. Swings it, drives it. It's gone wide. Puck's still alive, though, and still the Devils have it. Strachan's coming in now. He'll try and drive it through. It's dribbled in behind, just turned away. Oh, my goodness, how did they get that out from under the goalpost?
Well, I think we're going to get a chance to see a replay here as Strachan fires this one in high, dribbles all the way through the goalie, chance right on the doorstep. Zima couldn't apply to finish. And this is a real problem now for the Newcastle Jesters as Cardiff have gained some momentum.
So, Danny Lacroix goes to the sin bin. He'll sit for 2 minutes for slashing. The best power play in the league. He'll get the chance to go wet. Driven shot from the blue line, digging in around the goaltender. He turns it away.
One of the things you're going to notice the Cardiff Devils do, they've got the big number 3, Clayton Norris. He's going to go and stand right in front of Sartasari and see if he can stop him seeing the puck.
He's waiting for the puck now. It won't get to him, though, because it's been thrown forward on net. Cardiff will just try and set this up. They'll try and pass it around a bit, look for their opportunities. They'll have time to try and take it. Driven in there from distance, covered up by Sartasari.
As you see Norris get involved here. That's what he's got to do. He's got to do his job, and the defenseman, like Kauka did then, give him a hard time with the stick, a little bit of cross-checking and just trying to move him out of the way to give Sartasari any kind of sight of the puck that they can get.
Yeah, but Norris, a bit like a fir tree when he gets into that slot on the power play, he grows roots. He's very, very hard to ship. We're going to see one of the bright lights for the Cardiff Devils. Stevie Thornton shape up to take this next face-off.
And this is going to be a really important face-off for the Cardiff Devils, because if they can win the puck and they can get those chances on net, they could take the lead in this one.
Well, they have got the best power play in the league. They're at their best when they've got a man advantage just at the moment. So the puck will drop now, and the face-off is won. Back it comes towards Schuler. He'll just circle, look for his opportunity. That's what it's all about. Shape and weight. It's a patience game sometimes, the power play. Back it comes now. Now it's thrown in on net, but the tip's not quite there. Norris goes chasing in after it, but it's just about turned away by the Jesters, who managed to clear their lines.
Really good defense by the Jesters. Any time that you can play the puck the length of the ice, it really means that you kill off those extra seconds and just give that little bit of extra time to get the men on and off the ice.
Worth pointing out that when you're a man down, the icing rule does not apply, so you can do that just as often as you like. Tussle in the corner, Binns is in there. We've already seen him in action a bit earlier on in this game. Denis Chassé carrying it away, skillful player along with the size, but it's just taken off him. Devils do a good job to keep it in the zone though. They're trying to hack it clear. Poirier there, he's lost the puck, there's Norris. Oh, he's fired it home. Norris pouncing on the mistake by Joel Poirier and lashing it home past Sartasari.
I think you're being a bit harsh on Poirier here. I think what you're going to see is Steve Thornton just turning, spinning. There he just about gets a hold of that. Then he gets caught up in the skate. And there's big Clayton Norris. We said he set himself down in front of the goalie, spun around and found the back of the net.
Excellent work from Norris. Very, very sharp indeed to pounce on that one.
He was formerly a right winger. Most of this season, though, he's been brought back by Troy Wilkinson on to play defence, but on the power play, back to playing on that right wing. And there you can see just the damage he can do. Look at this, kind of a blind shot as he just spins around, finds his way home.
And his stick even got tangled up before he took that shot. Excellent work from him, and it keeps Cardiff Devils' good power play record going.
Norris putting the Devils ahead, and that's how the score stayed until the very last moments of the match. So we pick up the action again with the clock ticking down and Newcastle needing to throw caution to the wind.
Jukka Jalonen making the decision to pull the Jesters a goaltender in favour of the extra man out on the ice to put the pressure on.
He's taken a 30-second timeout as well. What he's trying to explain here is the exact play he wants his forwards to make in the offensive zone when they win the face-off. He'll want his big players to drive to the net and maybe one of his defensemen with a hard shot to try and get that one in and goal quickly.
Well, there's not long left at all, but you don't need long in ice hockey to score a goal. We've seen these games won by teams skating 6-on-5. Puck comes back off the face-off to Wilson. He fakes the shot. He'll fling this through on net, but it'll bounce wide. Here comes Mosnar now. He flicks it in. That's a good block, though. The Devils sliding in and making the block. Now Wilson has to defend. Shot taken. It's gone wide. Maybe that was Wilson just doing his job, putting the shooter off there. And Newcastle will try and set it up again.
McIntyre with a great chance to put this game to bed. He just missed out. I think he'll be disappointed in himself for missing the empty net. But Newcastle, really, they're going to find it tough to get back into this.
Yeah, and they've blown this one now. It bounces harmlessly into the zone. Cardiff will see the timeout and seal the victory in their own ring. It wasn't pretty, but it was effective. Cardiff will be happy. The power play record stays intact. A decent debut as well for Alesh Sima.
He's been one of the few bright spots of this game. It was really an ugly game to come and watch, a game that neither coach will be 100% happy with. Ivan Machulik got things underway with this beauty. That was all from the big pass from Alesh Sima, but he finished with a cool head. As always, the captain of the Cardiff Devils. Newcastle got back into it through the youngster David Clark. It was really just a lucky goal off the back foot. He just managed to fire past Orlovsky. He'll be disappointed with that, though, the netminder for the Devils.
Yes, he will. Not happy at all. We see it here again. It just flicks by him low on the glove side. He won't like to see that time and time again. I called it as a defensive mistake. Thornton maybe getting in Poirier's face, making life difficult for him. This was all about Norris. Stick tangled up, manages still to pounce on the puck, and just the one time, just to lash it home, puck sat right in front of him, and he got it past the goaltender. Nice work from him to seal the victory.
One last chance to look at this. There's Thornton involved, got mixed up in the skates, and there's big plays in Norris just to fire home. He'll be happy with that. That's one of the stories of this game.
Yeah, let's just take a look at the other story of this particular game, shall we? Because it was nasty and it was dirty. Troy Walkington wasn't happy with what referee Dave Cloutman let go. It all started here. A lot of it centred around Brezio Sacratini, and that was just an early tangle and a taste of things to come behind the play.
Typical Sacratini, as we're going to see him getting involved at every angle, using his stick, using his body, using his gloves. He makes sure he uses his mouth as well. That's the thing that's probably the most dangerous, is he just gets a little tap here. Sacratini really is one player that's involved in every aspect of the game.
Getting tangled up with Immonen there just after he had already been called on a penalty. He always likes to have a few words, does Vezio Sacratini. He likes to ride his hits as well. We said here he came back at Lacroix so quickly after taking that hit into the boards.
It must be purely pride, because if he was thinking straight, he wouldn't even go near Lacroix.
So a fighting performance from Cardiff there. No one said it would be pretty, but as they always say, a win is a win is a win. Steve Thornton's role in Cardiff's victory shouldn't be overlooked. It may not have been the most open, flowing game of the Challenge Cup qualifiers, but Thornton, who we highlighted as their most skillful forward, was still involved in the winning goal. His diving intervention freeing up the puck for Clayton Norris to fire home. Thornton was a vital member of the Devils Super League winning team 4 years ago, part of a formidable forward line with club captain Ivan Machulik and Ken Hodge Jr. Equally at home as a wing or at centre, he marked his debut in the British game with a Boxing Day hat-trick at Sheffield, his father's hometown. Now, you're from Canada,
yeah,
but you've got a British connection here.
Yeah, I have my whole family. Both of my parents were born in Sheffield. They moved over to Canada in '69. My grandparents, my uncles, my aunts all live still over in Sheffield, and I go visit there a lot in the summer.
Do your parents support the Steelers, or?
Oh, no, they support the Cardiff Devils.
So when you go back to Sheffield, you get a huge array of support there?
Absolutely, yeah. I think last time I went there, it was 25, 24 tickets or something like that. I had to scrounge up from some people.
No, you're not as big as some of the guys here. In fact, we've heard that you're one of the smaller players in the league. Does that affect the way you play?
I think it has to affect the way you play. I think you have to have a little bit quicker feet and have to keep your head up a little bit more, but trying to avoid the elbows as much as you can.
Is there an actual advantage to being sort of slightly smaller of build?
I guess you could make an argument that there is one. There's a lot of excellent players back home in the NHL that are smaller, but I think if you ask a lot of smaller guys if they had a choice to grow a few inches and put on a few pounds, I'm sure they would. it makes a big difference having guys like Mike Ware and Clayton Lawrence on your team. Not necessarily for coming in and stepping in all the time and having to break up fights, but just the fact that the other teams are aware that we have them on the ice. It gives the smaller guys like myself a little bit more space.
Each Seconda Super League franchise is constrained by a salary cap system, which limits the total wage bill for the teams. Cardiff, just like the other teams in the league, provide the players with houses and team cars. It's the way of the modern sports world that the best talent needs looking after. Steve is typical of the many North American players in the Seconda Super League, a former NCAA college champion in the States with Boston. He could have stayed on in the States after turning pro, but he's got no misgivings about coming to the UK.
Oh, it's great. It's great. I mean, we just live a normal life over here. We practice every day. We go to the gym in the afternoons a lot of the time, and we're very comfortable over here. At the end of the season, our season's only roughly 8 months, 7.5 months. So some guys go home for 4 months in the summer to Canada or America, wherever they're from. Some guys stay, play a little bit of golf, try to stay in shape for the season, and just try to get healthy. I think we've had a great locker room, and we've done some pretty good recruiting. I think the last couple of years we've taken a few steps backwards as far as our placement in the league. But I think that hopefully this year we can get a trophy. You know, we've got a long way to go for the league, and the playoffs is never out of question because we've got a team that can do it. We've got a great group of guys in the locker room, and we're having a lot of fun, and you never know what can happen in the playoffs.
There's Norris. Oh, he's fired it home.
We've had 3 matches so far, so let's just recap how the first 2 games went.
Allison comes in then. It's all or nothing for the Steelers. Allison, backhand side, fires, goal! What a finish and a calm penalty by Scott Allison. And he delights the travelling masses. Chris McSorley, though, on the other bench. He's not too happy as we see the celebrations on one side of the ice. And the home team, Colin Hazelden, well, they'll be disappointed with this one.
They will be disappointed, but the Sheffield Steelers came in here knowing what they had to do. They kept it level. It's a fine penalty from Scott Allison. Really, he always goes on the backhand. You'd think goaltenders would be ready by now. They weren't. Chris McSorley will walk away a disappointed man. The Sheffield Steelers, though, have given themselves every chance now of going through the Challenge Cup semi-finals, a cause that would have been completely lost had the Steelers gone down to a defeat here in the London Arena. Intercepted once again. They're not going to like this. Here come this Belfast Giants. Snapshot turned away. Mazzoli's got it. No, he hasn't. Oh, it's rolled over the goal line. How on earth did that happen? Mazzoli had that, surely.
I can't do anything but laugh. How did that go in? I think we're going to get a chance to look on the replay as you see Schulte shoots this one. It stopped. The cameraman can't see the puck. Then all of a sudden, as Blair Scott got mixed up with Mazzoli, the puck broke free and then somehow managed to cross the line.
Ward puts it out in front. Johnson's there. He can wind up the shot. Takes it. Rebound given up. Here's Ward again. Oh, on the backhand. And high. Colin Ward gets his second of the game. Only 4 coming into this match. 2 tonight. Colin Ward surely seals this one for Belfast.
All of that means that the Challenge Cup standings look like this. Despite tonight's victory, Cardiff have slipped behind in the race for the semi-finals. So far, only London Knights have definitely qualified. Next week, we'll be in Sheffield to see the country's best team, the Sheffield Steelers, trying to secure their Final 4 place. There we have it. Cardiff Devils won 2-1 against the Newcastle Jesters, but sadly, because of other results in the competition, neither side are going to make it through to the semi-final. But don't worry, next week we go to the top of the tree. It's the Sheffield Steelers versus the Belfast Giants, and this is a key match, because if the Sheffield Steelers lose, they could be out of the competition, and they're one of the favourites. So join us then, it should be a corker.